So John Wood Community College is a member of the Illinois Green Economy Network, which we refer to as IGEN. IGEN has been able to secure grant opportunities for the colleges if they decide to apply for them. It became obvious it'd be nice to see a regular solar panel in operation for students as well, so we applied for the grant to put some solar energy panels at the Workforce Development Center that we have here in Quincy.
The first thing we do is we take a look at the electrical situation of the facility that we're going to be working with and trying to take a look at how much electricity they're currently using and what we can do to build to offset as much of that electricity as possible. Once that's determined, basically we start taking a look at the site and where such arrays could be positioned to maximize production, meaning no shading factors. And once those are determined, we really sort of just do a site plan where we can put the arrays to deliver the electricity that we want to deliver, how the wiring will go, how it will be tied into the current grid of the facility via the main electric panel. So really that's sort of how it develops from there. And then that plan is basically put into play and product is ordered and put up.
So we anticipate that our annual savings on electric by putting up the solar panels will be around $18,000, which is a third of our electrical usage out at the Workforce Center.
Roof mounts are good, however, roofs, just like anything else, eventually need to be replaced. With these panels being the longevity of life that they have, you really would like to put them somewhere where you don't have to move them ever again. Not only that, but on a ground mount, you always position a ground mount at a 30-degree pitch and a 180-degree azimuth. So that is the sweet spot for solar in our area versus a roof mount when you can't always control those factors. So production values are always higher on a ground mount.
So we had the option of choosing either a ground mount or a roof mount, and we decided to go with the ground mount basically for safety purposes. We will then supplement that with training for our students to talk about roof mounts, which might even include mounting solar panels on top of carports and other structures like that.
So after the site plan is approved, then the product is on site. The first step in the process is to drive the poles into the ground for the ground mount arrays. Obviously, ahead of that time, the flags are going to be laid out into the field. The wiring plan is going to be in place as to where the trenching is going to go and how it's going to tie into the system. It's important in the process of building the racking that it is level, is not only functional, but also is aesthetically pleasing. Once the poles are in the ground, we have our installation team come out and start assembling the racking that will actually hold the panels. And once the racking is assembled and put together, then they begin putting the panels on. Once the panels are on, they start the wiring, and then the wiring, the circuitry wiring of the array itself from panel to panel, and then basically the trenching will occur where the wires are run from the array itself into the main panel box. As part of the solar configuration with John Wood, there's a net metering agreement with Ameren, and what that allows us to do is, as the array at John Wood will be producing electricity, and what can be used at the facility at that time will be used, and what's not used will go back onto the grid through the net metering agreement and will actually be coming back to John Wood as a credit that they can use that same amount of electricity later in the evening, at night, or on a day where there's clouds and they're not producing electricity. We've got a great installation team. You've got to be part carpenter, you've got to be an electrician, you've got to be part roofer, and you've got to be pretty darn tough. These aren't easy jobs to do, but they're very rewarding for the guys that do them. Solar is a great renewable energy for the simple fact that it's a very low maintenance. There's no moving mechanical parts like you might get on a windmill. It's at the site of production is where the site of consumption, and you can't get any more efficient than that. I can see that if a curriculum was built around the solar arrays, this is something of the future. It's only going to continue to grow.
Besides using these to train our students, we felt like this would be a good opportunity to be able to provide some community education classes in solar as well.
We have actually several John Wood graduates within our company, and we're very proud and pleased to be able to be involved with John Wood on this project. There's a lot that goes on in installation, and even so far as that, I mean, you start talking about manufacturing, and there's even more involved in that. So I think there's quite a bit of opportunity to learn from the arrays out of John Wood.